bit late here is my son. He wanted to go outside. He doesn't have school today. They have like a teacher conference and I don't know, Columbus Day or some garbage today. Um, but when we're looking at the cryptocurrency market, when we're looking at the commodities markets, especially the crypto market, we'll start out with I'm very blessed, I'm very happy, and I'm very gracious for not just the community that's here right now in this live, but the ones that were here over the weekend that packed the house, 200 people in here on the Saturday live, even though we did 3 of them, 150 in the other, 100 and something in the other. The amount of people that were in yesterday morning's live. Friday, when the trop happened, everybody panicked, yada, yada, yada. We went through a whole slew of things together. On Saturday, even with me being out in Grand Rapids, 3 separate, what was it, Saturday? Or Friday, there was 3 separate lives. Saturday, I was able to do a couple lives. Or 1 or 2. But Friday was the big one. We're able to go through 3 separate lives together before it happened, immediately after it happened, and then through the next day, we're able to get our minds right. When a lot of people were saying we're not touching this market, I said they're foolish. You needed to take that. It was so mystifying. It was almost as if the same voices, the same people, the same influencers, same communities that were telling everybody to buy when it was coming down from the all-time high, like for XRP and some others, when it was at the top of the bull market, they're telling you to buy. Even though we haven't had the proper alt season, the top of that rally from November. So now we've had a 10-month consolidation that culminated with a epic, historic, and for the first time in Bitcoin's history, dropped over 20,000. It moved, whether it was up or down, it moved over $20,000 in a single drop. That had never happened before, and it was to the downside. What did I say Friday? What did I pound the table saying Saturday? We have a gap at 116,990 or whatever it was, and we're coming up. I don't make the rules, but that's what happens. So the whole weekend, everybody told you why you should stay away. The whole weekend, everybody told you why it was going to go right back down without even looking at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So I feel very happy and blessed now that we're coming up to this rejection point. If that's what it's going to be, we'll find out at 264. But I'm very happy with our analysis as a community. I'm very happy with the way we looked at it. I'm not calling for a rejection, FYI, at all. I'm just saying that's where we had to come up to target. And in real time, it's at 266 now. That's in real time. We don't make the rules. We can't help that's where it broke down from, and we can't help the amount of liquidity that was spilled. All we can do is understand that they're traded on algorithms, which means for the next logical point, it's going to look for rejection either in this level, which we've already hit, in theory. You know, obviously we're massively overbought in the 4-hourly, but take a deeper look now what the daily looks like. Daily's just turning up in a very bullish direction. Now, what we need to do is get on top of the 200. We haven't done that yet. We came up to that rejection point, but we've had a bullish cross in the stochastic RSI, which is the relative strength index. And in the daily time frame, you get a longer, sample size here. The weekly, we also are now looking on the right side of town. We're oversold. Remember when it was the opposite, when the 1, 2, 3, 4 were all oversold and the weekly and daily were overbought? And I said, well, this isn't good. Because then it's got to come down for liquidity. And like even at the worst possible case we talked about, it's amazing how far these actually came down. It's incredible. Like in this chart, it came to 118. You know, and I think the more we hear it can't happen, it means it will happen. So what we did was we couldn't predict when and how, we just knew it had to happen. I've been talking about the $1.50 gap. How long, for anybody who's been part of my community, so if there's somebody new, how long have I been talking about that FVG at $1.50? And I said, I don't care what we has to do. It needs to hit $1.50 before we ever push out into the ranges we want. I didn't care if it was on a quick wick. I didn't care if it was taking the stairs down. I've been talking about it for months. Because it had to be filled. I don't make the rules. Just like Bitcoin had to fill the 110. Now, there's another gap on Bitcoin at 92, but it's not as vital. It is, but it isn't. We needed to fill the CME gap at 110, which we did. You know, so there's a lot of ways to look at this, but it felt like forever. It really did. Forever and a Sunday, and then some more. And then, we hear some that agreed, some who were vehemently against it, saying that it can never go back down to $1.50. I never live in the never say never. I was here in 21, and then in 22, when everybody said it could never go under $1 again. And I was saying it's going sub 40. To the point where in our community, I wish some could go back to the videos in 21. When it was at $1.66 when I sold, I said, it's going to 52 cents before our next big bounce. And then that's going to be the biggest bull trap we've ever seen. And then I said, I'm not buying till sub 40 because that's where the uptrend pointed. And then, like, what gave our first real credence in this community where people were like, oh my God. I don't even know the guy's name anymore. Dusty's Crypto or something. We call it Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News here at the second month emoji badge. He mocked my channel so bad back then when I had, like, I don't know, 1,000 people or 2,000 people. I'm not sure why everybody got so mad at me in the community that were here for a long time. I really don't. But they all got mad at me in the XRP. The influencers were all like bashing on me in the beginning. But anyhow, this person in particular was like the worst. And then he said he would apologize if XRP ever went under $1. Never did. Acted like he was right though. But so that's why he became a meme in my own community. I don't think anybody makes fun of me anymore. My channel's too big, and we've been too right. And that's not gloating. I'm just saying there's a lot you have to go through with trial and triumph if you want to get to where you're going, if you want to have your own voice. Like, it wasn't easy for me. It's been since March 24th of 2021, and I haven't missed a day of doing this. But it hasn't been easy to create my voice. I believe it's loud and clear now, but it wasn't always the case. And I build subscribers very slowly in comparison to some of the FUD channels. But we have the right subscribers. We have the right base. We have the right community. So if you want to be part of it, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be part of the next big push, hit that like button. If you want to go a little deeper, subscribe to the army. If you're thankful for what we've done, even in the last week, as I say, don't judge me on what I can do on the moments going up. Judge me on what I can do right before big drops when everybody else is saying the opposite and we get out of the way. How many times did I come on here and say that I was really liquid right before that drop? Real liquid. I didn't sell my XRP that I have, but I was really liquid. Extremely liquid. Not anymore. So, and then we try to push, if you're new, tier 1 exchanges we have to have, like, you know, you have to have something like Kraken or Crypto.com or Binance or, what's the other shit one? Coinbase. Uphold, but they come with risk. So what I suggest is right now, because even you've seen on BitUnix, I talked about how it was going to happen like this in the USA, and there's not going to be any control, but it kind of went out of whack when you wanted to buy. TOOBIT did not. And I showed the examples of what I bought. I got Algo on TOOBIT under 14. It was like 13.9. I got Epic for an average of 72. What else did I buy on there? There's one other. I can never remember. Oh, whatever. And then also WeX, which is in the comments. And I feel more obligated to talk about this now in the beginning. In the pinned comments, in this very chat, I bought IOTA at 8 point something cents. And it was like a breeze. Almost the very bottom. Like, it didn't skip a beat. Kraken was a pain in the dick. I finally had to wait it out because it wasn't dropped. Oh, yeah, Algo. Algo was the one that I bought on TOOBIT instead of Kraken because Kraken was showing 23 cents and then it got down to 17.5. I'm buying it at 13.9. And I wish I could show everybody. Not even on limit. I was buying it on market. Because of the volatility, I tested it out and then they were filling at the exact bottoms where the price was moving up and down. It was, so the 2-bit market orders weren't even screwing you over. Like, it was one of the craziest. Some people are like, I couldn't get it through with a limit. That's because it was too volatile. So I tested market in small amounts, and it was filling it at extreme lows. WeX on the market filled IOTA, for example, 80, just over 80 something thousand tokens. And it was at, and I've showed the audience, 8.9 cents. So like I try to push the exchanges that are there when we have these high times of volatility. Kraken was there, but I had to wait like 45 minutes until all of the bullshit settled. And then all of a sudden XDC came down to 5.6 or 5.4. But it was sitting at 7 and 6.8 when it shouldn't have been. Yeah, so it was crazy. It was crazy how it was working out. It really was. Trying to figure out how I delegated this, because I was having and like I've got 3 exchange opens at the same time just so I can find the stuff. So there was a lot of issues that we can go over and discuss. I would love to have a phone in. If anybody wants to phone in today about their experience on the exchanges not working properly, I would love to have an active discussion. But the way it turns out now is I got XLM on Kraken, and it was pretty easy to do that. Kraken did it pretty fair, but that was like I didn't do that in the beginning, so I think it was like 28 cents when I was able to finally get to that to buy the other 10,000 because I have 20,000. Band, I have 12,746, and on Kraken it's up 48.4% right now. So it filled at, let's see. So I don't want to just bag it and say it's shit 100%, but there was a lot of things I had to do and wait out and blah blah blah. So for the rookie trader, it would have been a pain in the ass. It would have been a pain in the ass. And then I have XLM, Band, XDC, and Dent on Kraken. And Dent I was able to get a lot more than I had before, over 8 million, but those are all up. Besides XDC, XDC is the only one that really hasn't moved. But for the rest, like, I'm trying to just make sure I'm transparent with the exchanges, because it was a real, ask everybody in the audience, there was a lot of a pain in the ass issues, and all these exchanges saying they're going to pay you restitution. You can't pay enough restitution. What are you going to pay? They'll pay on the losses for you not being able to sell. They can't give you money back for missing out on these 50 and 75% gainers in 24, 48 hours. So that's about all. That's about all. So a lot of stuff. I'm very happy too about a few things. Dolly Varden, we talked about that was the biggest steal at $4.40 something cents out of all the commodities. They announced 13.2% of their common shares will be eaten up at least a minimum of $6.50, starting with 4.2%. Though they're already promised for further capital for acquisitions. And then, even deeper, some of them are promised up at $9, which means the price under $6.50 is a steal. So anybody who bought that at $4.40, $4.50 on Thursday and Friday, steal. It's up 7% today, leading the way in commodities, as far as I know on my list. Gold's up almost to 4,100. You heard 4,100. Serious problems in the environment right now. And this is with DXI surging, FYI. Government bonds getting destroyed. 10 years down 2%. Savings rate continues to go down. 30-year Treasury bond down, what is it, to 4.63 now. You got silver surging up the yin-yang. Up 3.6%, doing better than most miners. Almost at $52 an ounce. Now, the questionable thing is I'm seeing on the future side of silver, which has me a little perplexed. I believe as of 45 minutes ago, the futures on silver said $49.94. I don't understand why it would say that, but something could be at play here. I got to see this. Okay, it's up to 50.17 now. So the silver futures is actually about $1. Where are we at? $1. About $1.90. No, $1.86 under the actual price right now, which is interesting. So the actual price is outpacing the futures price, which is, it's interesting, very interesting. We've gotten to the December futures prices now for gold. So something big is going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So let me say hi to a few of you. Pay attention though here as I say hi and we reference this with the fact that now XRP is within this big broadening wedge, which we know. That's how we knew the target down. Even though it did break through on some exchanges. Look at the weekly though. We're in that oversold. We're setting up just perfectly for that mid-November, early November bull season for altcoins. Remember what I've been saying, so don't, and if you're new, you're not going to have the member. You might need to take the member berries. But we've been talking about how we needed a flush, a significant one, because we were so overbought. Guys, it happened. Everybody waiting for this massive flush now. I hate to break it to you, but a lot of times when you wick down like that and you have such a volatile recovery, you melt down a little bit. But to expect it to come all the way back down is expecting a lot. That's nothing short of spectacular what this did on some of these exchanges. For XRP right now, it's had a 115% pullback. Let me say that 115%. Shane, perfect example. Yes, he didn't buy the bottom of the wick because it's a bitch. He got it at $1.82, up 44% since Friday or Saturday when he picked 44%. Some people are like, I didn't get the bottom of the wick. You don't need the bottom of the wick. But $1.86 isn't $3.40, is it? It's also not $2.80 or $2.60. $1.80 is a reasonable buy here. And if it comes back down, he's got a decision to make now. He could easily just put his stop loss below, and if it breaks through, you know what? Takes a few dollars. Or puts it above. Or just rides the wave and adds even further because he's got the mindset of, I'm going to buy it when there's big drops, and I'm going to let the market shuffle it out when it's in between. That's the good mindset. He's also had experience in trial and error in the market. You need it. He's a much more experienced trader than when I first met him. So he's starting to realize, yes, there's dips after big run-ups, but normally after a big rally and you start buying it after it drops 10, 15, 20%, you're feeding into the flame until you have that liquidity event. We've had it. I know a lot of people that are going to be sidelined now waiting for the next one, and we're going to get some here, I promise you. It's not just going to go straight up. We've hit our liquidity resistance. We're going to have to pay the piper, and I'm trying to figure out if it's... Now, am I going to be mad if XRP comes all the way back to 50? Oh, no. Oh, no. For transparency, I want this before November to drop back down and retest the November of 24 lows. Oh, my God, I would jump out the fucking roof. I don't know what I would get rid of, but something significant that I've made would be sold in order to further... I mean, I'm telling you, it would be a six-figure purchase. Not of dollars, but 6 figures worth of XRP tokens if it ever went back sub 50 cents. I can... Well, let's keep it in range. Let's see how far down it goes. But there would be a substantial purchase if we ever went there. So I'm not worried about that. At all. And if this happens to break down and we don't have alt season in November, it's been fun. We'll hit our make it or break it point from this recent rally. And we'll say, you know what? It wasn't time. And we'll see you again at the bottom of a very long crypto winter, which I don't think we can afford. I don't even think it's possible. You know why? Rate cuts on the horizon. We already know this. And the chances of a rate cut being implemented by the end of October, which I don't buy into the numbers, but if you want to know statistics, it's up at like 93% chance of an October rate cut. You couple that with the emergence of propagating war, and also the deep, dark desire to try to make it look like Trump's moving the market more than he is, when in fact all it is major sellers selling after not being online for Bitcoin in one case of 13 years and finally selling. So there's a lot of stuff under the... So Just keep your head level. Is Ethereum at 3,300 like it was on Friday? Is Bitcoin at 101,000? It almost looks like it's setting up for a tricky continuation, which doesn't even seem to make sense here because you would think you'd have a little more of a pullback. But with all that liquidity found, I don't know anymore. When you find large amounts of liquidity like that, it changes the whole perplexion of the trading rhythm. And the fact that it stayed within that uptrend is it's astounding. We were predicting the drop before it happened, and everybody's, why? Nobody could have possibly predicted this. I see all the other stations, all the other communities. They're legitimately telling their community why it's okay that they got them killed because nobody could have seen this coming. And then they also said you should stay sidelined over the weekend. Compound a stupid decision. Now you could sell. Now if you want to sell, you could. In theory, it came back up to the resistance. Hasn't filled the 116.9 yet, but it's come back up to the 115.7 resistance area. What is this in real time? So it's like, don't compound stupidity with stupidity. You really think when you have a collapse of epic proportions, you're not going to get a bunch of rebound, even if the market's done? How do you trap liquidity for the next move? That's what we're trying to see if that's what it's doing. But don't cut your dick off what you don't need to. Don't cut your arms off. You know, at least take advantage of everybody else's misfortune. If you had money on the sidelines, it didn't matter if Bitcoin are... Look, Bitcoin dropped... The perfect example. It went to 109.7. I know some that were like, oh, well, it's at 111.7. We can't... Why not? I'm not talking about buying Bitcoin. I hate Bitcoin. But why couldn't you buy the alt when it was there? We knew it had a further push up. Or if you were somebody who was buying, and this is a perfect lesson, not just for you, but me, myself, you know, from past times, so he never emerges again. I used to do this in the past. Every time it would drop, I'd always buy it. You know, after a move up, if I didn't have something, I'd wait, and I'd be like, oh my God, it's down 25%. Look how smart I am. It's not at $1.80. It's at $1.55, even though it came up from 38 cents. I'm not talking about XRP, but I'm just saying. Then it would drop down 70%, and I'd sit there and go, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I'm just going to sit here and I'll wait for it to come back up. Not buying any more in the 70% drop, which could have lowered my average by about a good 50% because, you know, when it drops 70%, you can buy a hell of a lot more than you could 70% higher. And then when it makes the inevitable return rally to at least 50% retracement back up to hit the resistance to prove that it's going to have a continued downturn, which XRP powered right through it and doubled that, which was good to see. I mean, XRP was trading at 272, 268 before the drop. It got back up to almost that range. If you didn't know that drop happened, would you even be flinching right now? If you didn't, let's say you went, hell, you had a concussion on Thursday. The last time you seen XRP was at 272, 275. You get your wits back today and you're looking like, oh, XRP's at 256. You'd be like, oh, it had a little bit of a correction down to that little gap Tom was talking about at 250, right? And then you open the chart and go, oh my fucking God, what happened here? Oh, well, it looks like it filled that $1.50 gap Tom's been talking about and pissing us off about for the last 6 months. You know, so it is what it is. Like, talk about doing a remarkable job of filling that 3,500 back test that we've been waiting for Ethereum. I mean, now we have to see, is this a head and shoulders pattern or is it something deeper and darker? I think there's something deeper and darker going on here. What better way to get everybody out before alt season? Remember what Jim Cramer said? It's a good time to buy, and we said, uh-oh. It may be a good time to buy because we might go higher in alt season, but this means we're going to have an epic collapse. And look what happened a week after he said it. Almost to the day. So it's like, how could you possibly... Oh, you're going to know. There's going to be signs right out in front of you, like Jim Cramer coming on and saying it's a good time to buy crypto. There's signs. Well, the charts speak it too. But I say the charts dictate the news. Like the charts are dictating when Trump comes out. Or when the media comes out. Now, notice how we had this big recovery. Now all of a sudden, China refuses to deal with the USA. Cat's got a cradle, and we're the cradle, baby. We are. Retail is such liquidity for the whales and the institutions. It's insane. Believe it or not, the bigger buyers have actually expanded their holdings after the drop. Even been able to take profit. It's amazing. Incredible. Dan Marginal, Jesse, and Dennis Smith, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Crypto Cooter, Frankie Fresh, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor and being a very trusted mod, Crypto Cooter, and here in the Telegram. Omar, good morning. Mark Caston, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Robert Latham, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Rally, good morning. Glad to see you in here as always. Define Group, Frankie Fresh, welcome in. And Define, thanks for being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. And Frankie Fresh, give Janine my love as well. And I hope your hand is improving ever so slightly. That one fraction of a cent, of millicent of whatever the smallest fraction is, I can never remember. And Define says, hey everyone, hit that like on the way in and consider subscribing and joining Tom's Army for the best technical analysis on YouTube. If you're not in the Telegram, you're missing out. Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And if you want to be in the Telegram, if you're in Tom's Army, make sure you go to my YouTube channel in the post section for members only and get the Telegram link and click. It's almost up to 490 members. So a lot of like-minded people, a lot of scammers that try to come in. So report them. Don't give in. I'm not going to ask you for your tokens. You can't send me tokens to make money. I'm not going to message you unless you message me, kind of thing. So that's it. Mark Korf, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Jay Free Mix, welcome in. Poppy, Lou, and Tan Marginal, welcome in. Thanks along with Mr. Scott being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Good morning to all of you. Mosey here, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Arichi Farms and the Cannabis Podcast. Make sure to follow the Cannabis Podcast as he's pushing for 500 subscribers right now. Getting close, but he needs a little help. He talks about holistic healing. He'll be up to date on the further legalization across the country in the USA. And furthermore, he gives a lot of facts and a lot of good details about cultivating and so much more. Give him a follow. John, welcome in. Ben Graham, Matt Grimes, good morning. Alex Carbonelli, Swirl of You. Tom Crosswhite, thanks for tuning in and being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. B Southtown, how we feeling XDC or Algo? Well, I can't make that decision for you. But I was telling you to buy it at 13.9 with me. 14, 15, now it's at 26. It's a big difference. It's a 70% move roughly. No, maybe not 70. Well, it's getting close. So, I mean, I don't know. That's up to you, friend. They both power different parts. XDC's R3 corridor. And Algo, to me, is like what the XRP's trying to do with the central banks and especially trying to power certain banking in the USA and other parts of the world. Africa has a very deep and profound relationship in the African continents, South America, so on and so forth, with Algo. So, you know, pay attention to that. I think when you get a steal there, I think a lot of people dismiss it, but there's big gains to be made. I really believe that. And I didn't get none of these at the bare bottom. You know, the buys might look good now, but they absolutely were not the bare bottom. They were close, some of them. Like Algo was IOTA was super close. Set Spirit Apart, welcome in. Swirl View, good morning, along with Tom Crosswhite. Thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Mrs. Stott. Mr. and Mrs. G. Stott in the house. How blessed am I to have you both here. Hope you're having a blessed morning, Mrs. Stott. Sola Jeffy, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Bought more XCC and Dad, goodbyes. Those are goodbyes. Frankie Fresh says, thanks, Tom, so much for guiding us through this big dump. You were the only one on YouTube that got it right. You are a savior. Oh, I know that's true. I know, because I was fighting with my fellow YouTubers saying, hey, you don't have to put out fluff for views, guys. Just get it right. But I told you. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I'll say it no more after this. They can't read a chart. If they got it wrong, why follow? Especially when all they're trying to do is damage control. Hey, I lost you 90% of your portfolio, but nobody else could have seen it coming, so we're okay. We're vindicated. But don't buy it when it's cheap. That's what they told. The entire landscape all shared the same message. You know how I know they all do the same shit and they don't know anything? Every single person on the drop said the same thing. Go look at their channels. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and see how this setup plays out over the weekend. I recommend not buying because we need to see how this formation sets up. Are you out of your mind? What do you mean don't buy? Look, this is the easiest money I've made in crypto in 2 years. I'm not even joking. I said it on Friday and I'll say it again. It changed the complete outlook and my whole positioning of this alt season. I knew it was going to be a big one, but my own personal salvation is going to be that much better because I went against the grain again with the community. We went against the grain. When everybody's telling you to run right, veer left. When everybody veers left, go straight. If they're going left, right, and straight, go backwards. Oh, yeah, it was a long time, that gap at $1.50. Oh, it was a long time. I'm glad that some of you, well, obviously you have to remember you're getting sick of it probably. AUB, welcome in and thanks for being at Townsend for 6 months with the XP Predictor. Wales, Josie, Wales, XRP has to break 271 to be bullish. This was the floor before the breakdown. Yep. I agree that area. I had 264 for the first, or 266 in real time. No, 264 to 266. But yeah, 272, it needs to come over that range to start pushing. But it technically needs to get above, in my opinion, 264 and hold to start having a play. 250, though, because that was the gap down area before in the small gap. So, yeah, the gap talk was around, well, it was before that. It was when we had the breakdown to $1.62 and it missed it and I got pissed. And I kept saying, I don't care if it was technically in range. It's not close enough. Mr. Popcorn Bud, but yeah, close. It was right around that time frame. First quarter of 24, or 5, I mean. I didn't sell out in January of most of my crypto for no reason. 75% to flip into gold, silver, and mining stocks. I wonder if there's any evidence that I could show the new ones that I actually did that. Oh, actually, 9 months ago, 37. Why I sold 75% of my crypto, turned focused gold and silver and mining stocks. I took a beating on that video. You should see some of the comments. Oh, you should see them. Morning, Tom. Dusty's BC. Oh, that's it. Dusty BC has been around a while, but they are permabulls. Oh, I don't mind them being around a while, but why would they criticize my channel so harshly in the beginning? That's because they try to take out the real players. They're so bought and paid for that channel that doesn't even matter. That's why they're permanently, and you notice they don't say anything about being my meme because they're an absolute jackass. The guy buried himself in my view. He could have been partners with me. I told him. I made a plea with him and said, listen, I'm a smaller channel. Back off because I'm telling the truth here. I will show you the TA and give it for your community, and we can, have a little trade-off here. They can see what I'm doing. You can show them what's actually going to happen on the charts, but he decided to bury me because you know what happens when somebody can outperform you. It's just like in baseball or sports or whatever. You try to bury the better competition by injury, by putting, whatever the case may be. They tried to slander me. So now they become Ronald Grump. Thanks for being in Townsend for your second month with the Dusty House Crypto News. Omar, good morning. Craig Carlson, welcome in. Thanks for being in Townsend for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Gray Paul, good morning. Ronald Grump says, I rotated an ounce of gold in the Constitutional in September and I haven't regretted it, but I've got a lot of 10 ounce. Excellent. Hey, I like how you're trying to stay ahead, man. I like that. Devin, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month, or over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge, and thanks for being a very trusted mod in here. Says Sarson Funds is enriching the DeFi ecosystem in Casper with CSPR USD, a US dollar denominated stablecoin registered in the United States, which is now live on Casper Network Testnet. Ooh, great information. Great information there. I love it. I love it. Shane says, I'll call in. How do I? Ooh, I would love to talk to you, Shane. Shane. We're going to have a call in, Julie. How's T doing? I don't know. 30 minutes maybe? It seems fast, doesn't it? Shane, send me a message at strutrugali@gmail.com or just send me a message on Telegram. You can even send me a message on Telegram through a private message. Just send me if you want to. You can send me an instant message on Telegram. It'll be easier probably. But then all I ask is that you can keep the number in your phone, but delete it off of Telegram. So in case I go back and forth, it doesn't just show up. Because the worst thing that can happen is that it'll be overcrowded. But yeah, this will be nice because we have a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to exchanges and what our audience and just what the retail deals with. Remember, all the big institutions don't trade on the exchanges. I don't care what anybody says. They might sell on the exchange, but they're not buying on the exchange. Remember that. They got back end. We already know it's true for XRP because we've seen it in the redacted forms, but they wouldn't show us the difference between what retail was paying and institutions. So, you know, it is what it is. I appreciate all of you, my friends. It makes me happy that so many stayed on point. That's why I always say it's easy to have a bunch of people when the market's going up or a big drop happens because everybody wants. I told you, I may not get people when it's as much, but didn't you see what happened the first time we had that massive drop? Over 200 people showed up on the big drop because they knew they could trust what I was saying. And that makes me feel better than any amount of subscribers can make me feel. Is when an outpouring of people come in the bad times. But not to criticize, they actually try to find the real information. We get our most positivity. How we had gifted subs and everything over the weekend, which I thought was astounding with how much we dropped. I guess people were happy at the good deals and things like that. Rapid Freedom George, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army. Over a year. Wow, it feels like yesterday you joined. That's crazy. I appreciate that continued support, George. And also Syrian, a very trusted mod in here in the Telegram and Tom's Army for over 1 year as well. Unbelievable support we have. Good morning, Anthony Venegas. I know you've been in Tom's Army for over a year. I don't know why it's not showing it right now. Yours and Cape Cod Kyle Kupiak, sometimes it doesn't show, which I know Kyle's in here. I know I missed some donations. I apologize. I was trying to get in on everybody's comment. I love saying hi to everybody. Joseph Euler, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor and also a $10 donation. I love it. Thank you so much. And Pete says, oh, and then Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Thank you so much. Says, hello, Tom. Oh, and also a $6.45 donation as well. Super generous. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate that. Says, hello, Tom. Because of your exceptional TA, I had a large limit order for XRP sitting at $1.40. Holy smokes. So you trusted the $1.37 or $1.34 drop. Look at that. On the broadening wedge. You are amazing. Thank you, Tom. Chipped up hard. Keep it up. Wow. From $1.40. That's substantial gains right there. And that's a limit order filled. Sometimes you got to have the forward thinking. But that's why we had it at right around $1. Well, we had it at $1.37, I believe. I don't think we had it at $1.34. I think it was $1.37. Oh, wait a minute. You're at $1.40. What the hell am I talking about? That's a monster move. That is a monster move. Imagine if you didn't own XRP and you waited for XRP to finally have a breakdown and you were able to get it like Pete did, and I don't know if he owned it or not yet, but he got it at $1.40 and he's up 83% in 72 hours. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good buy. Everything before that big drop, I'm sorry to say, wasn't. Unless you've been buying it on broadening wedge, broadening wedge. I mean, you wouldn't have known until it came back up for the second hit. But that's the key of a broadening wedge. It only takes 2 hits of support, 2 hits on resistance to confirm a pattern. Most other patterns, almost all of them, require 3 hits of support and resistance to validate a formation, aside from a broadening wedge. That's just the way it works. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Let's see. But yeah, Shane, you can send me a message any way you see fit. They gun the stop limits. Oh, they do gun. They do gun. Defined. I did not know there was another message. There's been so many comments. Let me go back up. Cape Cod, Kyle, and Jordan English, thanks for both being in Tom's Army. Jordan English for over 2 years with XP589 Moon Badge. Says, I've heard their sentiment of this being the similar drop in 2020 before a big pump makes me concerned we're actually going lower if everyone is saying that. Oh, I'm not here. No, I'm not even hearing that. I'm hearing everybody saying different. There's a lot of different sentiment that I'm hearing. I'm not, yeah, there's similarities with the big dump that grabs liquidity, but a lot of people stayed on this. Go look at most of the channels are on the sidelines. They didn't buy this push. None of it. They suggested to their audience to not buy that drop. Well, one, because they couldn't buy it. Let's just face it, all their money was already tied in. So how are they going to buy when they have no money left? Or how is the community going to buy if everything's tied up? Or they've been buying in the wrong spots. So that's easy to say why to do that. But I'm not convinced of that, my friend. I was waiting for a big liquidity drop after being pulled out so much of the market. And I did have a few rides up and down, or down and up, I should say. But at the end of the day, we waited for the big liquidity. Now, I think what is throwing a lot of people off is they're waiting for Bitcoin maybe to go to 92 or 93. But you got to remember, we're not defined by Bitcoin anymore. We've been following Ethereum. Now, if Ethereum finally cleared that 3,500, does it have to come back is the question. Because the honest to God truth is that initial drop, Ethereum would have been pulled at 3,820. 3740. So we got through some big areas. Now it looks almost like a flag is being formed. And that death cross that was formed, you got to retake the 20-day to kind of flip your fortunes. Then the next step would be retake the 200 and flip this entirely in the 4-hourly. So, yeah, there's going to be some downside liquidity, no doubt about it. Are we going all the way back down? I don't know. I knew we were going down last time. I'm a bit perplexed this time because in a couple of weeks, I'm telling you, November is going to bring something that most aren't prepared for. That's why I said in my video 2 days ago, you should be preparing for alt season. You should always be preparing for alt season because it hasn't happened right now. But, you know, it's there's a big thing going on right now. Let me move back up. In Cape Cod, Kyle, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bats from Massachusetts. But I'm not technically wrong when I said Florida 77 different times, because now he has a second house in Florida. So, I projected for him, and now he made it true. T, good morning, says lots of alts are still near their all-time low, even though Miss Crash would now still be a good time to buy the alts. Morning, Tom. The question. That's the tough question. Because after what that should be 115% pull up and some others, you would expect some downward volatility this Monday morning. So I don't know. You know, the perfect example is like IOTA was down at 8, now it's back to 15. You know, you had sub 13 algo, now it's at 20. So, I mean, there's been some large pull-ups. I talked about over the weekend V-Chain, when it was still way under value. I said V-Chain is one we should be looking at because it made the further dip back down here. And fortunately, after that video on Saturday, it went fucking booming. Did a very good job. Where's Epic at this morning? Oh, over $1. Never mind. Forgot it went over $1 again, so that's not exactly in the best spot. Seeing that it went down like at 50 cents. Band's up at 56 still. Seeing that went down in sub 40. I mean, look how much these have bounced back. Leneo was down at 0.005. Nobody was getting it, but it still bounced there. Could have got it under a penny though. That was down under like at 0.0002 something. Now it's at 4.7. So I don't know. Now I would say if you didn't buy that whole move back up, you might have to wait and see what happens. You know what? It's still throwing me off. I can't believe I'm saying this. Gold's more expensive than Ethereum. Holy shit. That's why I'm being thrown off. Gold's worth more than Ethereum right now. And Ethereum's over 4,000. Ethereum's at 4,093. Gold's at 4,099.9. Oh my God. My mind's like having a mind fuck here. Excuse me. No, I'm having a mind fuck. I think my dick's still on the floor with all of this. Told you we'd be picking up off the floor here soon. I think we're picking up off the floor. Oh my. Anyhow, I gotta find Defiance comment. Hold on. Oh, it was absolutely dropping before Trump even talked. Yeah, they blame him. Tom, not only did you, oh, here's the fine. Tom, not only did you predict this drop 45 minutes before it happened, you also predicted it like easily a week or two plus. Been talking about extra paid $1.50 for fucking months. I know. And it was crazy because I put on Telegram and on my Facebook channel 45 minutes before the drop. I put down a chart that said we were going, well, we had to essentially fill the bottom of the broadening wedge. If you're not on my Facebook channel, please join it. I put out so much ridiculous information that I can't possibly put on YouTube because, one, it doesn't function the same way. And it doesn't hit as hard unless I do it in video form. But you can get all of this stuff and more. And I put this out. XRP holders. XRP destined for $1.34 in the broadening wedge. That was literally 45 minutes before. See how it pulled up? That was right before the futures closed. Boom! And it went down right there. Because we understood it was in a broadening wedge. So once it broke down to that 5-wave correction and it actually broke down, we knew it was over. I don't care how much it tried to pull up, it was over. So now the question is, like, everybody buying today is probably going to lose 10 to 20% here. Am I calling for a 20% drop? Nah, I don't want to, but it's very plausible. Does that mean I'm selling out everything? No, it doesn't. But what it means, if you just bought it on this move up way at the top, you're probably going to get kicked in the nuts here. You know what I'm saying? So be careful. And with gold surging like it is, money's finding safe yield. If you think the Dolly Varden is anywhere at 480, no, we'll talk again when it's at 650. Anything under 650, you're getting a steal. 13.2% of their float's guaranteed at 650 minimum. 3.2% already being bought up there by the institutions. So something big is going on. Silvercorp just did something similar where they were selling the common share. They bought back so much of their float of common shares themselves because they said it was too cheap at 550 and now it's at almost 7. So I monitor these markets deeply. I know a lot more than just crypto. I'm probably the only one in the crypto sphere that pulled that switcheroony in January. I know for a fact I am. That went from crypto with all of those profits we made from November being in for a long time on the bottom. And I made the flip into commodities and then made the flip not out of commodities, but reinvesting a large amount of my capital that was on the sidelines on that epic liquidation. That's the thing. Like, I wasn't part of it. I was out of the way. Like, that made me so much money just not being a part of it and being able to buy back in when everybody's afraid. I can't even explain it. Like, even if it goes down 30%, 50%, I'm still set up for the next big buy as it reliquidates itself. There's a lot of stuff. I think, though, right now, there's one of two things that's happening. One, we're going to get a big drop because there was a short trader that predicted, and let me just show it. I put it on Facebook. There was a short trader that predicted the drop right before, took out another short. So the crypto whale opens new 163 million Bitcoin short after 190. So he opened a short and made $192 million on the liquidation that happened on Thursday. He just opened a new 10x leverage bet. It's already up 3.5 million in unrealized profit, though it risked liquidation if Bitcoin climbs to 125.5 million. 125,500. So the question is this a psyops? And they're using this whale to make everybody think it's going to go back down because this person predicted it, or is this legit? That's all I want to know. In crypto news, I wanted to put this on here to give them credit. That's why I put their little thing there, just so you know. Gives them a little recognition, but they're the ones who put this out. So I like to put some kind of credibility on a picture somewhere so that they can get proper credit and you know exactly where to go. So when you see the picture, you see crypto news, you can type in crypto news and see what's going on. So I can do that on Facebook. It at least makes it easier. But there's and then MicroStrategies bought another. What was it? I put it out this morning. MicroStrategy buys another 220 Bitcoin for 27.2 million. So yeah, there was that. Trump was preparing to meet with the Chinese president in Korea, says Treasury Secretary. That should have been good for markets. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on. Almost up to 8,000 on Facebook now. So I don't know. I don't know what the next directive is. But I do know we're going to have to clear some of these gaps that were filled on the push up. So, but there's not anything below us. All the liquidity that used to be below us has been cleared for eons. There's no liquidity down there. I could pull up a heat map, but that's not what it used to be. It wiped it out. So yeah, you're going to have little volatilities here. Where the hell's LAES? It should be up this morning pretty heartily. Oh yeah. 601. Nice. I will forever kick myself on this one because I charted it perfectly, but no. I got so in to what was going on in miners and trying to get ready for a drop in crypto that I completely lost focus on this one. And we charted it perfectly. Perfectly. 100%. It filled out, went in, even consolidated here. We have a push up to $6.80, but that's if it broke out there. So now it broke out here. So it should come up and fill this resistance. We just don't know. I'm projecting, so let's do this. Actually, I'm not projecting. This is how it should be. So, I mean, we still got movement if it wants to go. Our hope is, after all of this, because we're going to get an epic collapse. And I'm telling you, the stock market's going to have the biggest collapse it's ever seen probably since 28 financial collapse or something bad's going to happen. But when? Is it going to be a huge drop when it gets to 70,000 or is it going to be a huge drop from here? It's going to be a huge drop from 50. Nobody knows. So I'm just playing the markets. I'm playing it the way it says. I'm trying. Bitcoin dominance, yes. Who said that? Ronald, it did hit resistance on that drop. And I put a Bitcoin dominance chart out in the Telegram as well and on Facebook that showed exactly where it needed to come up to. We talked about the 62% level. And it came up here. It might not have hit it well, we can use this as the hit. Because this is probably too high because on my phone. Yeah, we could go back to here. We'll use the evidence it gives us. But we knew it had to come to the 62 percentile to get that rejection, and it did. It just had to come up here, basically. 60 and a half, but 62. It could have come all the way back up here. But it did come back up and get rejected down, back around. Boom. So, yeah, the next level would be about 54%. We know we are in an all-time bearish pennant for Bitcoin dominance, which is great. We fell outside of a rising channel, which is great. We need to come down and break 54.75 to continue the next big drop. Now, if we reset on the uptrend of the broadening wedge, that seems, or I mean the bearish pennant, which goes all the way until 2032 for Bitcoin, could come as low as 45% in alt season. And then if it were to break down in 32, it comes down to 8.57% of all money would be in Bitcoin. Right now, even with the drop, if $100 comes in for crypto, $59.49 goes right to Bitcoin. So just remember that. Yeah, I would read the entire title too. Oh, I get criticized. I don't care. It's all an illusion, AI, Tom. Thanks for being times on for over 6 months with the XP predictor. Don't do it, Chain. I regret it, but life struggles had me taking money out of the market at the wrong time. I had some, but unfortunately, I see a lot of people are talking. I guess a slight recovery. I checked my portfolio thinking XRP went up 100%. I would read the title. XRP rallies nearly 100% after Friday's historic crypto crash. I always tell people, reading comprehension. Even for myself, because sometimes I tend to skim and then I don't comprehend what I'm reading. I'm like, oh shit, I sound like an idiot now. Happens to the best of us, JH. Happens to the best of us. You just sent a message, Shane? Excellent. Let's see if we can do some discussion here. I'm gonna shun sane. A way to talk. We're gonna have a call before I hang up, before this ends. Oh my God, Jason, it was brutal. The one that pisses me off most, and I know the Tigers sucks because it was the playoffs with Michigan. I said I didn't want Teron more in the beginning, and I want him fired now. He's not a good coach. He might be a good recruiter, but he is not a good coach. Shane, I sent you a message with my phone number if you want to. Oh, actually, I could call you on the Telegram, too, and people could probably hear you if you want to do it that way. Guess we could test it out on the Telegram. Let's see. But yeah, so the biggest thing with XRP is you got to be careful here now. If you didn't buy that entire drop, yeah, see, we're going to delete this because this, we can't use this chart for the broadening wedge. And I don't want to confuse people. We're going to reset a chart now on this one. The only reason is because, well, I mean, we could because it gives you the upward target. But we know on this chart, we're going up even farther. But now we get further evidence here. Because the broadening wedge had hit better on some of these other charts. You got to see the full liquidity. To say it only went down to $1.60 wouldn't be right. I actually liked the one where it was $1.34 personally. Which one was it? When we did it like this, but there was another one. Well, look, this came down to the bottom of the distribution box perfectly because we didn't have enough energy. You know, and these are my own interpretations. Like some people will have it different. The top is demand for me, which is flipped from most. Because I think we've never had the proper demand to push into a new discovery zone. And that's why we had to go back into discovery. Quickly came back, but... I mean, we could use this. We can make a guiding stone here. It's just, it's going to look different because for whatever reason, this chart only tapped down to $1.58. Which is also why it's important to have different charts. Let's see. But yeah, silver, gold is a blessing. Now, if you haven't bought anything yet, obviously you're looking at some point. Yeah, I have one of the exchanges. I think on mine it went to 77 cents or something. On Tether. Which one was it? I know I seen one of them go much lower than the rest. See, and those even changed. Remember I had a chart? Oh, right here. This one. Yeah, look, on XRP, went down to 78 cents. Which chart is that of mine? Which one was 78? So this is... The hell one is this one? Binance. Yeah, Binance went to 77 cents. Yeah, Syrian it did. That's my chart for Binance. Right here, it went to 70, 78, 79, 77, somewhere in there. So everybody, that was on the futures in USDT though, I believe. Or was that USD? No, Binance USD chart went that low too. Oh my God. Talk about straight fucking... Oh man, that's a huge drop. Like the market only went down 30 to 40%. No, it went way farther than that. I don't know why people have to lie. XRP on its own went down. Depending on which chart you look at. I tend to look at the chart where it went down to the $1.30 area. Because I don't trust the one that went down to $1. I mean, this one. Because that's only Binance. There was a few that exasperated the drop. But like this one went to $1.57. This one is my favorite one that went to $1.37 because that's the one I think is the most official. So I mean, at $1.37, not a big drop. Yeah, nothing like a 50% drop in an hour. That's nothing major. That's because he only looks at one chart, and that's what I'm saying. Most of the YouTubers don't understand charting. They think all the charts are the same. I'm not joking about that. I don't talk about it all the time because I don't want to mock people. But it's so easy to see that they can't tell that there's a difference between one chart and the next, or liquidity comes in different forms, or what happens on Binance doesn't happen on Coinbase, and what happens on Coinbase doesn't happen on Crypto.com, and vice versa. They legitimately think it's all the same pool. And it's really embarrassing. I told you, it makes me look bad in my own field because people assume that I am the same way. It's frustrating, very frustrating. Shane, I don't see any further messages, and we're up over an hour here, and my son's going to want me off here, so, you know, we might have to push this back to the next one. Unless Shane disappeared. I'm glad you agree with me, Jason, about Sharon Moore. He's a horrible coach. But remember, Michigan football and basketball is not typically good at the same time. So Michigan football fans are eagerly awaiting Michigan basketball because I think we're going to win the title in basketball. We have legitimately the best stacked team in college basketball. If we even have a pro that would have been a top 5 pick that we paid enough to not go into the draft, and he transferred here. Big dude. Well, maybe top 10. But we got so many pros on the team. I think we're going to win the title. I think we're going to finally win the title for the first time since '89. Yeah, there was a lot of different prices. Louisville, thanks for being in Town Zone for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. It's crazy how I got the notification after it dropped. Didn't have a chance to buy under 2. No, you might not have been able to see that exact notification, but I did. If you're in the Telegram, I put it in there as well. And I put it on my Facebook channel because at least there, if YouTube's not telling everybody. But that's why I don't waste my time with text chat on YouTube because it never shares it anyhow. So, mission was absolutely accomplished by exchanges. Now it's that in-between moment. We're in the in-between now. We are absolutely in the in-between. So, I'm going to go, though, guys. My son's still outside. I'm going to go spend some time with him. We'll get it to the call with Shane later. He's obviously busy. All I want to say is thanks to you, Tom, and my friends in the Telegram. I bought some of the nicest red candles I've ever seen. Thank you. Oh, my God. I'm so blessed to hear that, Dennis. I'm so happy to hear that. And thank you for being in Tom's Zone for 3+ months with the Expert Meteor. Be blessed, everybody. We'll be back. We will be back. Can we get 2 likes before I exit? 2 likes is all I ask to get to 100. Do I see 2 likes? Looking for 2 likes to get to 100. We need 100 likes before I close this. We need 2 more likes. 2 likes. Who's going to be the lucky one to get the 2 likes? I'm looking for 2 likes here. 1 more like. Who's going to be lucky number 100? We need 1 like here. Please give me 100 before I leave. That's all I'm looking for is 100. Looking for 100, and I will let you guys all go, and I will let you guys shut up. Like, please. Yeah, up to 102. Thank you, Terry and Mule, for being the deciding factors here. Thank you, Mule number 100. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Be blessed. I hope you liked our little, maybe I should do it like that. I can be an auctioneer. I can actually talk really fast without thinking, as you guys all know, so. Now, maybe I'll just be an auctioneer for